The SEC issued crypto exchange Coinbase a Wells notice, warning the company that it identified potential violations of U.S. securities law. A Wells notice is typically one of the final steps before the SEC formally issues charges.
Yes, breaking news if you hold cryptocurrency, as being tweeted by CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. Today, Coinbase received a Wells notice from the SEC focused on staking and asset listings. A Wells notice typically precedes an enforcement action. So the SEC suddenly has a problem with Coinbase's staking services and how they list assets. But here, Brian Armstrong explains why this is so outrageous. 2 years ago, the SEC reviewed our business in detail and approved Coinbase to go public. Our S-1 clearly explained our asset listing process and included 57 references to staking. The SEC said nothing. Coinbase runs a rigorous asset review process and has rejected more than 90% of assets that applied. While we understand that this is all part of the journey to reforming our financial system, we are right on the law, confident in the facts, and welcome the opportunity for Coinbase, and by extension, the broader crypto community, to get before a court. So Coinbase will not just roll over, they are fighting back against the SEC, and Brian finishes by stating, "We are proud to stand up for our customers and the industry in these moments." Now, if this was just a one-off from the SEC, that'd be one thing, but it looks like this is part of a much bigger sweep against the crypto community. Kraken to suspend ACH deposits and withdrawals following Silvergate shutdown. Meaning because of these bank shutdowns, it's now much, much harder to find an on or an off ramp for crypto. Kraken clients will no longer be able to use ACH deposits and withdrawals through Silvergate. We are working to make ACH funding options available through alternative funding providers as soon as possible and will communicate details with clients as soon as we can. So all of a sudden, all at once, all these crypto exchanges are now scrambling. It seems that they're going to attempt to limit/block the exit ramps to Bitcoin exchanges as the banking system gets run. It's starting, meaning it appears they're making it harder for you and me to buy Bitcoin, opt out, be our own bank, as all these banking units are getting shut down. As tweeted by Sandeep, the founder of Polygon, he says, "So confused with this notice to Coinbase. Coinbase is the gold standard of compliance in crypto. As a regulator, why would you go after the most compliant company of the industry? Doesn't it discourage everybody else from trying to be US compliant? What's going on over there in the US?" And probably no coincidence, the SEC issued these notices on the very same day. Just in, the SEC has charged 8 celebrities regarding illegal touting of Tron TRX and BitTorrent token BTT without disclosing that they were being paid. So the celebrities being charged are as follows: Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, Soulja Boy, Akon, etc. And by the way, this one, in my mind, needed, very justified. I like the SEC cleaning up this aspect of crypto. And now looking specifically at the official SEC press release, the SEC is also charging Justin Sun with market manipulation and wash trading. The SEC also charged Sun and his companies with fraudulently manipulating the secondary market for TRX through extensive wash trading, which involves the simultaneous or near simultaneous purchase and sale of a security to make it appear actively traded without an actual change in beneficial ownership, which of course would fool any average retail investor just looking at the volume of cryptocurrencies on these exchanges. And then the SEC is also charging for orchestrating a scheme to pay celebrities to tout TRX and BTT without disclosing their compensation. Wait a second. If Tron is potentially a security, if Coinbase has potentially listed all these securities from the SEC, does that make Ethereum? Ethereum co-founder Joe Lubin comments.
Being the co-founder of Ethereum, I want to focus on Ether for a moment, because there was this lawsuit brought by the New York Attorney General against KuCoin. Within that, the New York AG suggested that if Ether could be a security. As part of that, they say that the shift of proof to stake has incentivized users to own ETH due to the pooling method and the nature of the way the Ethereum blockchain works. What's your view on that? Do you think it's a security?
So anybody can say anything. It doesn't make it true. It's unfortunate that that sort of sideswipe was made, but I don't think it's all that relevant.
But people are trading it and staking it with the expectation of profit. That is one of the determinants of is a security. So is that not concerning?
People buy barrels of oil with the expectation of profit.
Good point. So you're confident at this point that Ether is not a security? What if it is?
Definitely not.
What's the implications?
What if it is a security?
What are the implications?
I don't think there's any point to speculate on something that is extremely unlikely.
And to give you all sides of the story, this channel gives you all the information. Some are saying this SEC Wells notice to Coinbase will turn out eventually to benefit.
It has to do with safety and security, and I don't think this is necessarily a negative thing. If they were to prevail, I think it would be good for the company because it would define the regulation, and it would also, this is Gary Gensler, and so it also would sort of just make it clear exactly who's in charge and who you need to look to make sure that you're complying with everything regulators want you to do.
I think that's what the SEC is trying to do. It has not been given the guidance or the approval by Congress to say that it's the regulator in charge here, but I think Gary Gensler is doing everything he can to work around the edges of that and bring whatever actions he can.
Now, if you're wondering why Bitcoin just took a dip, yes, as of yesterday, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell announced a 0.25% interest rate hike. This brings the federal funds rate now between 4.75 and 5%. So yes, Jerome Powell is still trying to suppress inflation, meaning yes, Jerome Powell is still trying to suppress markets. But really, we all expected this, and it was more likely the hawkish tone that Jerome Powell still had, saying the banking system is fine, liquidity is fine, we're going to raise rates as long as we need to get down to 2% inflation. Here is a 40-second recap.
Inflation remains too high, and the labor market continues to be very tight. We need to raise rates higher, we will. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our banking system is sound and resilient with strong capital and liquidity. We're doing a review of supervision and regulation. My only interest is that we identify what went wrong here. When a bank fails their investigations, and of course, we welcome that. We will continue to closely monitor conditions in the banking system and are prepared to use all of our tools as needed to keep it safe and sound. At the end of the day, we will do enough to bring inflation down to 2%. No one should doubt that.
And huge piece of breaking news, Terraform Labs co-founder Do Kwon, the CEO, the guy behind Terra Luna stablecoin, reportedly arrested in Montenegro. The former blockchain exec is wanted by Interpol for his role in the $40 billion collapse of the Terra Luna ecosystem during May 2022. Now, we know this because this was officially announced by the Minister of Interior of Montenegro. He put out the official statement about Do Kwon. And on top of that, that exact same day, South Korean local news outlet Something News Agency said authorities confirmed, based on photo data alongside name, nationality, and age of an identification card, that the arrested individual was the same person as Terraform Labs CEO Do Kwon. And possibly the biggest piece of altcoin news that just happened, Layer 2 Ethereum scaler Arbitrum. The Arbitrum Foundation homepage crashes as users rush to claim their new airdrop. So the highly anticipated Arbitrum airdrop has finally gone live. Just as a reminder on what Arbitrum is, ARB is the Speedy Layer 2's highly anticipated governance token, which was first announced on March 16th. People were able to claim if they had interacted in the past with the Arbitrum Layer 2. And of course, the price of the launch popped off. It was so awesome seeing everybody at Outer Edge conference in LA. Great to talk crypto, great to be on panels. And if you want to catch us at the next one, join us for Bitcoin 2023, the largest crypto conference in existence in Miami Beach in May. Ticket prices do increase in about 1 day, so use code ALTCOINDAILY for 10% off your ticket. Link down below. See you tomorrow.